Okay, welcome back to another session of PLC logic stuff. Okay, so today we're going to talk about counters. So the first piece of this I want to do is create a new tag. So I'm going to call this my counters. I think I've already got something in there, so I'm going to call it my counter. And then this time we got to have a data type of what? Counters. If I don't have this data type as counters, I can call it counters all day long in my name, but until it is a data type of counter, it is not a counter. So let's keep that in mind. So we want to make sure we have the data type of counter. And then in this particular case, let's say, why don't I go ahead and create a value of 10 of those as well, just for fun. So I'm going to create 10 counters and under my counter and go ahead and create that. And we're going to go into control tags, and we should see I have counter, and then now you'll come down here and you'll see my counter, and there's 10 of those as well. So I'm gonna probably use counter for just for the logic, but I wanted to go illustrate how to go ahead about creating counter tags one more time here. So let's go back to the main routine. So this time we're going to create counters. So the first piece of this, I got to create a ladder rung. I come in here, drop in an input or a contact in XIC to be clear. And this time I want to drop in a CTU counter up. Hey, that seemed to work a lot better. I'm getting the hang of this Allen Bradley business a little better here. Okay, so now I'm going to drop a binary in here that's my test bit. I'm going to grab a counter. So as you can see here, populated with counter. If I tried to grab anything, if I try to put a double integer in there, it's going to give me those E's again. So we don't want those E's. So we're going to grab a counter for an address. Preset, we can put anything in there. Let's put a preset of, say, 10 in there. So we're going to have a total of 10. Accumulation value will always just set that to 0. At this point, we're going to go ahead and download this information to the PLC. We're downloading at this time. And as you can see here, I am in run mode. Controller's okay, IO's okay. I've got the green bars on both sides. That's a good indicator that we are ready to rock and roll here. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. I'm going to hit the Control T button. As you can see, it incremented by 1. I'm going to turn it back off, back on, off, on, off, on, off. As you can see, every time it turns on, I get a count of 1. It doesn't continuously count. It just gives me a count of 1 every time. Every time that this bit comes on, you can see the CU turns on. There's a total of 7 bits associated with a counter up. Let's take a look at that real quick. Or seven components, I'm sorry, 7 components. So let's take a closer look at that. Counter 0. It has preset, accumulated value, counter up, counter down, the done bit, overrun, and underflow. So we're under flow or something like that. Anyways, the preset is the same as the timer. So it's, as you can see, I've got a value of 10 in there. We can actually we can illustrate this by doing something like this again. Go to here and pop this back up again. So as you can see here, preset, again, like we mentioned before, we have a value of 10 like the timers, so we got a 10 on the preset. Accumulated value is 8. As you can see here, this is on, the CU is up, so counter up is on. The counter up bit is associated with the CTU. This counter down bit, the CD, is associated with the counter down that we're going to be dealing with here in a minute. The done bit, of course, is the same as the timer. When the accumulated value is equal to or greater than the preset, equal to or greater than. That's a critical path there, guys. Equal to or greater than. I gotta make my R better. So that means if that accumulated value here is equal to or greater than this value, that done bit will be on. This is a critical path, especially when dealing with the counter down. The counter up is more intuitive. If they see that value go equal to that 10 or greater than, you'll see that done bit turn on. And I'll illustrate that here now. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to Control T it until I reach that value of 10. Bam, 10. So now I'm equal to. Done bit is on. Now I'm going to go ahead and count one more time, see what happens here. Look at there. So that done bit stays on, right? Even now that I'm greater than the value of 10 now. So keep that in mind. That's kind of a big deal, especially when we get into the counter downs. But for counter ups, just keep in mind, once you reached the equal accumulated value is equal to or greater than the preset value, the done bit is on. All right, let's go ahead and monitor some of those bits, see how that all flows, how that all works. Oh, one last piece I wanted to share. When we get into instruction help, this is something I wanted to share. So if you're developing code, say it's even in an exam or in at home or whatever, if you come over here to this command, you can go instruction help, and you will see that they illustrate everything there is about a CTU. Whatever command you're dealing with whatever you're struggling with, you can do this very thing. It gives you all the details. So again, on the OV, the overflow bit, this is a great illustration of what the overflow bit is. So when the counter exceeds the upper limit of this very large value here, the counter will then roll over to this and begins counting up again. So why do you think that's important? It's important because if your counter rolls over, your values are no longer going to be accurate, right? Because you're gonna have to understand that your counter went over the top, and now it's starting at some negative value here, and it's going to start counting down. And it's going to really mess up your count, especially if you're anticipating, like, I need a product, I need this many pieces out, and you walk in the morning and you've got a negative value in there. It'd be like, hey, wait a minute, that can't be right, you know, because you can't create a negative value, right? So the underflow bit, I don't remember, overflow and underflow bit. So when we go to the lower limit, so this would be more like when we're doing a counter down, right? So when we get a value of, we reach value of 0, then we drop below 0, now we start counting positive again. So again, if you're trying to determine the number of product in and out of machine, and your counters get all janked up, and you end up with a negative value coming out of your machine, not really possible, and you got trouble. So it triggers this bit here to tell you that there was a problem, and you exceeded the capability of that word, and now it's gone past that the bottom side. So if you think of it from a perspective of going over the top or going under the bottom is the way I would look at it, of the exceeding the capabilities of that word. But overall, I mean, this is really helpful stuff here. If you're in lab and you are struggling with a command or need some more information about a command, this is a great place to go. So keep that in mind. Just right-click on any block you're using. Instruction help will get you right where you need to be. So here is the counter, the preset, that done bit. So let's take a look at the. Let's go offline and let's create some more rungs here. I'm going to go to favorites, add this, and put this right there. Okay, I'm getting a handle on this. I'm going to come over here, drag him over here, I'm going to pull him down, give me the counter up bit, the CU, and here I'm going to just grab binary 1. I've already used 0, I'm going to use binary 1. I'm going to copy this rung. I'm going to paste this rung here. I want the counter up, the done. What else do we want here? Is there any other things that we want to do? On a counter up, the done bit, and that's about all we can use, because I'm not going to hit the overflow and the underflow. That's a lot. That's a lot of bits. I don't want to be triggering it that many times. My arm would fall off before that happened. So I'm going to just stick with that. So we're going to do the counter up and the done bit. Oh, there's one other piece to the counter. How do we reset that back to 0? I forgot that piece, and I'll add that in right now. So I got to have a rung for that as well. We'll Let's spam here. Oh, one too many of those. Go back to the counter, and we gotta have a reset for that guy. That's how we're gonna get this back to 0. So here, we're gonna do, how about I make this binary 1? Oop. And just drop this right, just like the timer, that retentive timer, we're gonna drop that right in there. I'm gonna move him right here. So we got him real close. So binary 0 is gonna enable the counter. Binary 1 is gonna reset the counter. Binary 2 is gonna illustrate what happens when the counter up is on. And binary 3 is going to illustrate what happens when the done bit turns on. So here we are. We've got all those pieces in place. Let's go ahead and download this information. Okay, so now I've got all these pieces in place. I'm going to go ahead and Control T this guy. Watch this guy count. You know what, maybe I'll make this a value of, instead of 10, how about 5? That's much easier to deal with. So I don't have to hit the button 5 times. 1, 2. See how this counter up is coming on every time this turns on? 5. As soon as I reach 5, the done bit turns on. As you can see here in the controller tags, you will see preset accumulated, all these pieces here. Let's go ahead and compare this to the logic. So here we have preset is 5, cumulative value is 5, the counter up is on, and the counter down is on. The rest of the bits are all off. We're looking at the binary. We got the same scenario. We got binary 0 on, binary 1 off, binary 2 on, and binary 3 off. Let's come over to the tags. You will see that very same thing here in binary. Binary 0 on, binary 1 off, 2 and 3 are on. So go here. So as you can see, the 0, 2, and 3 are on. Now if I go in here, I Control T this guy again and turn him off. You can see the counter up turns off and the done bit stays on. And then I hit this binary 1, Control T him, and it resets it back to 0. Turn him back off again. Okay. So that is how the counter works. Pretty easy, nothing too complicated there. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and move on to counter downs next. We'll talk to you later. Bye.